Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And honestly, we should just get right to it. Yesterday for Man United was a very embarrassing, what you call it? It was very embarrassing for Man United. Um, it's like, Grimsby Town just felt like the game where United should, get back into some sort of rhythm, get back some momentum. And to lose the way they did, to be honest, was very embarrassing. There should be, in football, right? There's underdogs. And there's just going to be days when you play some of these League One, League Two teams. Yeah, you're going to have some of these games, especially away from home. These teams are going to be motivated. They're going to be up for it. They're going to want it more. It's understandable to an extent, when big teams, sometimes underestimate their opponent. It happens, right? Big teams, you go play teams like Grimsby, you're going to win this comfortably. So you're not really tripping over it. But to not just lose, it was a complete domination like that. It was actually insane. How do you lose to Grimsby Town? And especially the way you did. I mean, let's talk about the penalties, man. It was embarrassing. Like, Onana he just kept doing, oh, nah. Like, the guy just was a hologram. Biscuit wrists, couldn't save a penalty, kept punching them back in the pole. And it's just like, yo. And then to make it worse, your big striker, your big name signing, Sesko, waits till the 10th penalty. Nah, absolutely not. Can you imagine if this was Gyökeres? Can you imagine if this was Saka waiting for the 10th penalty to take it? Can you imagine if this was Palmer waiting for the 10th penalty? Can you imagine if this was Haaland waiting for the 10th penalty? Yeah, everything will be in smokes right now. So for him to actually wait till the likes of Harry Maguire to go and take penalties, waiting for the likes of Dalot, you're the big name striker. Like, you're the guy who's come in to take over from Højlund and Xerxes. You're going to be getting a lot of these starts. You literally went from potentially going to Newcastle, straight rejected them, came to United, bomb. You're here. You and Mbeumo Cunha are here to make, you're here to make United great again. You're here to wake up the fallen giant, the sleeping giant. That result was embarrassing. And you could just hear it from the United fans. They are done with Ruben Almirón. And funny thing is, when Almorin first came in, was it last year? What were United fans saying? They have basically, was it the second or the third best manager in the Prem? I think he was being put ahead of Arne Slot. Obviously not going to be put ahead of Pep Guardiola, but he was put even ahead of Mikel Arteta because he's won in Portugal. United fans definitely had the shades on. We have a winner. We're back. Even when they signed in Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, we're going to cook. They got all giddy with the Baleba links. United were ready for the season. And even to be fair, like I said, mate, United were potentially going to finish in the top 5 because I'm looking at these signings you're making and I'm going, there's no way in hell you can mess this up with this, amount of quality in your team. There should be absolutely no way, the Brighton should be having a better season than you. Like, your squad and your team alone should be in the top 6, top 7 conversations. Cunha scored 20 goals in the Prem. I mean, And Mbumo scored 20. My bad. Cunha scored what? Anywhere between 12 to 15 for Wolves. So you're adding goals immediately. We all figured that. We all thought this was going to be a lot better. But the performance to Grimsby Town, yo, if Chelsea had put on any type of performance like this, oh my God. We literally drew to Crystal Palace 1-0, and the noise was loud. We couldn't beat Palace. We're gonna struggle this season. Bro, it's Palace. We didn't even lose to Palace. We tied to Palace, and the noise was loud. And you go and you lose to Grimsby Town. Look, if this literally happened to Chelsea, we will want the manager sacked. End of discussion. So I'm not even upset at the fact that United fans want their manager sacked. You understand what I mean? I'm not even upset at the fact that they want their manager gone. So we're going to look at some of the reactions from some of these United fans after yesterday's performance. I mean, it doesn't start or get any better than Saeed TV. You know, and Saeed's new name now is Jamal. He said his new name now is Jamal. So what United fans are actually feeling about, their manager right now. And to be honest, it's absolutely it is absolutely understandable. I ain't even mad at that. I am not upset at that reaction at all. So let's look at Saeed TV. Come on, let's go. Let's break this down, brick by brick. Let me know if you people can hear me. Yo, you know, it's bad when you have your fans and shisties. The brother wanted to hide from this embarrassment. And I feel that because if this was us, if this was me, and it's one thing you go play like a Grimsby and, it's an entertaining, it's a good kind of game. It's back and forth. And somehow you just lose on penalties. Like if you rotated your squad heavily, if you rotated, you had a bunch of academy kids just playing, then okay, it might be understandable because it's academy kids. But you had Bruno Fernandes, Mbumo, Cunha, Sesko, Mason Mount, Kobe Mainu, Delict, Harry Maguire, Dalot, Ahmad. Yo, it's unacceptable. It's actually unacceptable. And, standards have to be up there. How do you get out of the Carabao Cup before even the big boys come into the competition? I'm sorry, and they could have been down 3-0. Granted, all things being considered, even their second goal, if VAR was there, that would have been, called out for handball. So let's be fair. Let's keep it a buck. If VAR was in play, they would have, that goal wouldn't have stood. But that third goal would have stood. So then either way, we're back to square one. But I just, I want to experience the feelings of how, United fans are having right now. And I don't think this is a feeling that we haven't had as a football club ourselves. We've gone through Graham Porter's time. We have gone through months at a time without scoring goals. Yo, at one point, our goal of the month was a Nicholas Jackson goal against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. No, I'm sorry. I lied. It was against Brighton. We had one goal to pick from, and that was Jackson's goal. So we've been through this, but we've also tried to tell United fans at some point, like, yo, relax. Let's see what Almirón does with this team. Yes, we can, we can be like, okay, you guys are going to be decent, but relax. Let's see what happens, and they just, yeah, they just, they just wouldn't want to listen. So let's speed this up with, let's see. Yeah. All right, let's listen to brother Saeed because I feel his pain, man. And it's not even It's not even funny at this point. It's not even funny.
The most embarrassing I have ever felt as a Manchester United supporter. Fold the football club. End it! End the football club!
God.
Grimsby Town.
Yeah.
You know where they are? League 2. Shame with you! Shame on Man United! Shame on you players! Ruben Almirón! Get now and get out of the football club!
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yeah, he gotta go. Like, to not have won back-to-back games in over half a season alone, it's a sackable offense. I'm sorry. It's a sackable offense. Like, bro, this is big boy Man United. There's absolutely no reason you shouldn't be able to win back-to-back games. I'm sorry. You got to go. He should have been fired literally after the game happened. But now the question is, who are you bringing to replace him? You could bring Michael Carrick. Hey, you could probably go get Rude back. You know, you could probably look at McKenna. You know how when the transfer, last summer, there was a whole, merry-go-round for managers. Chelsea were looking at McKenna. We ended up with Maresca. We all wanted De Zerbi. De Zerbi never happened. Hey, it is what it is. I wanted De Zerbi as well. But hey, Maresca's coming, is doing his thing. But you could go back even to a De Zerbi, McKenna, look at an Areola. You know what I mean? Like, thing is, a manager from these teams like Wolves, Southampton, Brighton, these managers, I think they would even take they'll take the job. Crystal Palace, get their manager in. I think he would accept it. Let's be honest. United, at this point, I can't even confidently say United's ceiling is looking higher than Palace. And I'm not even trying to be funny or anything. Palace have been, just steadily having some success over the last season or two. So I can't even say United are looking like they're going to be better, because Palace are going to be in the Conference League. They're definitely one of the best teams in there, and they could for sure win the whole thing. So now, Glasner could be like, yo, I could win another, European trophy with Palace. I could really create history over here. So he might not even want to take this job, but you're going to think Glasner with this United team, though, is going to do something positive. Like, he's going to cook. So you could get him in and, make it happen. Because Almorin just looks devoid of ideas. Like, the system just, so many managers have played a 3-4-3, and it's looked good. Antonio Conte, he plays 3-4-3. Even though you know what's coming, you can't stop it. Thomas Tuchel, he's played the 3-4-3. Even though you know what's coming, you can't stop it. We've played 3-4-3 with Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and Timo Werner as our front three. And you've won a Champions League with that. United could play 3-4-3 with Cunha and Bumo and Sesko and still win with it. So, it's just what's not working for the guy. Like, what is it? Are the players not really taking, your instructions on board? Are they just not listening? Are they just not, implementing what you're asking them to do? And even with this, his post-match interview, he was like, yo, the players basically said loudly what they wanted. And it's like, yo, what does that even mean? Like, are they, because you could look at it as, the players really wanted to come back from, being 2-0 down and wanted to win this game. And they really rallied, on their quality to bring it back to 2-2, and we lost. Oh, it could be, the players are just saying, we don't want to play for me no more. They don't want to play for me. They want to change. We got to make a change. So it's very cryptic. Sounds more on the side of, hey, you know what? These guys don't want to play for me. Maybe it's time for me to consider my future. Or it could just be something else. It could be a whole bunch of nothing. But it's absolutely shocking. This United performance is so bad. Like, it's very, very, very bad. And if I was a United fan, fam, I will be upset because we have been through this. We've been through Lampard's seasons. Big up, Jar. Appreciate you always, man. Always showing love to the channel. Big up, big up. Hope you're having a decent day at work. But we've been through this with Lampard. So for us, we kind of understand. But it's just I don't understand what's happening with United. But I'm gonna let Saeed, express himself because I genuinely want to just, empathize with his feelings and his honest takes. But this is just crazy.
Grimsby fucking Town. How dare you? How much more embarrassment can we take? How much more? You stooped at his level. We've seen 7-0. We've seen 5-0. But they're against teams like Liverpool, not Grimsby Town. Grimsby, man, I can't believe it. You players, yeah, you see your wages, give it to the fans. Every single player, the wages, spread it to the fans. If I don't see a P45 for this manager, yeah, you see Ruben Almirón, yeah, obrigado, yeah, you see you. Wallahi, I will book a economy flight, yeah, to Portugal.
He said it. Yeah, he said economy flight. You ain't even getting no business class. You ain't getting no first class. Straight economy, yo. And I feel that because there's absolutely no way you should be flying back to Portugal comfortably, cushy. I'm sorry. There is absolutely no way this guy should just be going back like nothing happened. It's embarrassing. Like, it's genuinely embarrassing. And like he said, yo, you have to dock some. Reality is it probably wouldn't happen. But if you could take their bread, take that shit. Give it to the fans. Give it to the canteen women who they had to let go to build this team that just embarrassed them on a very high level. Give them money. Yo, honestly, after yesterday's game, they should have reported to training at like 5 a.m. 5 a.m. and have a meeting and just understand, hey, what's going on? Like, what y'all really want to do right now? Do you guys want us to find a solution? And also, you know what? With Almorin, it just looks like you do have the players to play the 3-4-3, but it's not working. So maybe change it. Like, change your formation a bit, run it a bit, and see if you can find other solutions. There's like, even against Fulham over the weekend, when they needed a goal, they brought center backs on. Xerxes was on the bench. You could have brought him on. You could have made attacking substitutions to see if you can really go for it. Because real talk, fans appreciate when a manager goes for it, right? We like the fact that, okay, the game is really not going right or it's going the way we want it to. What are the changes you're going to make to see if we could actually, get something out of this game? Fulham are playing at home. They're not a terrible team. Cool. But you're coming in with Cunha and Bumo, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount. And United started off really well. So for me, it's like, yo, there's really no excuse. Excuse me, people. There should really be no excuse. But Grimsby, I'm sorry, is where I even have to draw the line. Because, it just reminds me when people keep talking about, Chelsea, the Conference League is not really a trophy. It's not a proper trophy. Anybody could have won it. Arsenal could have won it. United could have won it. Liverpool could have won it. Man City could have won it. Spurs could have won it. And granted, yes, there is some truth to that. But it also shows you that there's never any guarantees that any of these teams go into this game and don't underestimate their opponent. It just tells you nothing is granted and nothing is given. You have to go and beat who's in front of you, and that's it. Because how much would you have put on the fact that United were going to lose to Grimsby? I'm sorry. You would have been, if I asked anybody for a prediction for this game, minimum, I would have said 5. At minimum, 5-0. This was the type of game you really go and you smack Grimsby around and you build some confidence. Your front three get in on the goals, like assist. You build some confidence for the Prem games. You wouldn't have been sitting here going, you know what? I think first half Grimsby would have been 2-0, potentially 3-0 up in the second half. You wouldn't have written this. Now, if you're a Grimsby fan, you probably would have put a little, some money on it because you're a fan, like you support the team. So you would have said, yo, we're gonna beat United. And that would have been understandable coming from Grimsby fan. But there's literally no reason anything is granted. Anything is not given. So when people keep talking about, well, the Club World Cup ain't this, you face teams from Brazil. Look at Big United. They didn't even have to play Palmeiras, Fluminense, none of these teams. They didn't even have to play Al Hilal. They didn't have to play. They played Grimsby Town and they lost in the second round. So don't let nobody ever try to tell you, oh, this conference league it's nothing. Nah, there's no guarantee Arsenal go into the conference league and they don't, bigger fish to fry the whole competition. Like history has shown, Arsenal have always prioritized the Premier League in recent years. Cup games, they've always said bigger fish to fry. Europa League, bigger fish to fry. So there's no guarantee they would have went into the conference league and taken it seriously. They would have been what? Running it back with their second squad or the third options, Ethan Waneri's, and you just never know. You're going to meet some of these teams that are going to surprise you. Like that's just the reality. So don't let nobody tell you, yeah, that conference league is nothing, because Big United couldn't even beat Grimsby. But let's listen to some more.
Because you're not welcome here, bro. That's it. It's over for you, bro. You take us to 15th. You take me to Bilbao. I went. Took me 12 hours to get there. 12 hours. And we get embarrassed by Tottenham Hotspur. And we allowed this man to continue. Idiots. Shame on you. You allowed this man to continue. The worst position in our history. And you allowed him to continue this season, bro. Shame on you, man. And any United fan that is backing this manager, yeah? You're an enemy. You're an enemy of the football club. You don't want to see progress. But it's give it time. Fuck you, man. Absolutely.
Yo, it's not even funny. It's just passionate. And you can feel the pain, man. Because we've been here before. We have been here. We understand what Saeed is going through. And this, he's one of the biggest United fans out there. Watches their games, does the watch-alongs. So I hear it. The passion, and right now, this is fresh. After that game, your head is gone. Like, your head is gone. It's somewhere else. So you're just, whatever you got to say is whatever you're saying. You just let him hear it. But it's tough. It's really tough. Because now that's one route out of Europe gone. By the way, that's a trophy gone. So now they only got 3. FA, Prem. Oh, I lied. That's it. They only got 2. FA, Prem, and that's it. Season is already done. And now I'm going to have to be like, you know what? Once the transfer window's done, I'm going to have to look back at my predictions and redo it, because I can't bank on United to actually finish where I thought they were going to finish. I genuinely can't do that. I cannot do it. I just can't do it. So nah, it's tough. It's actually it's tough, and it's peak for United. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's honestly crazy. Just listen to a bit more of Saeed.
We never deserved anything.
We'll go to Rags, and then we'll talk about everything else we have to talk about.
We absolutely robbed them, bro. It should have been 3-0. It should have been 3-0. And this football club, decided that they were going to get away with it. You can't cheat.
Let's just listen to the end of part of this.
Talking about 2028, United Premier League. Fuck off. Fuck off. Yeah, guys. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. We are just finished. I don't know what's going to save us. Sides won't save us. Until the Glazers leave, anyone else can fuck off as well. Everyone can just fuck off, man. You know what, man? Relegate us, man. Who gives a fuck, man? To be honest with you, Championship's not our level. That's fucking our level, League 2. And maybe we're not even better for that. Was it Van Ramra?
I'm sorry. It's not even funny. It's just, you know, sometimes when you don't laugh, you're going to cry. And that's just the unfortunate truth. I hear you, bro. I feel you, man. Because you don't deserve this. Like, genuinely, you don't deserve this. Genuinely don't. You genuinely don't deserve this. Nah, you don't. One more, and then we'll just talk about other things. But it's just, yeah. All right, so just we'll just get this out of the way because it's tough. All right, let's go.
The old manager, bro. You see, all you man that are still supporting this guy, bro. You man can all go to hell, bro. It's personal now.
All right, let's start it.
I walked all the way to Barcelona tonight during that watch along. Xavi, yeah, sabbatical's over. Back to work, my brother. I'm a rim out, blood. You see this pussy old manager, bro. You see, all you man that are still supporting this guy, bro. You man can all go to hell, bro. It's personal now. It's personal now. You see what this guy's put us through? This is an absolute embarrassment. And you know what? It needed to happen. Sometimes you need to go backwards before you go forwards. What we saw tonight was nothing short of a disgrace. Let's have it right, innit? It was a fucking disgrace, bro. Grimsby Town, bro. I didn't even know where Grimsby was, bro. I said 3 at the back against a Grimsby Town. Yeah, man can talk about the waterlogged pitch. Man can talk about the weather. Man can talk about the goalkeeping mistakes. Yes, Onana is an absolute prat. We know that already. But there is absolutely zero excuses, yeah, for not being able to create clear-cut chances against Grimsby Town. There's none. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it, guys. This is the reality because everyone talks about goalkeeping mistakes, but you need to understand, yeah, that your goalkeeper will tend to have less to do, yeah, if you're scoring goals, bro. That's kind of how football works. Because if the other team's scared of you and you pose an attacking threat, then attack tends to be the best form of defense. Grimsby weren't worried about us. How can you have Mbumo once he came on, Cunha, Ahmad, Xerxes, fucking Bruno when he came on? Man had Mount at wing back and Mbumo, bro, when we finished the game. How can you have all this talent on? Sesko as well. And we're not creating no clear-cut chances. Zero. There weren't many chances that I seen in the game where I'm like, he has to score that. There was none of those, he has to score that moments. We're not creating.
And you know, that was one of the scary things about that United game as well. Like, you're looking at Cunha and Mbumo in this game, and you're going, yo, like, you're not taking the game to Grimsby. And it's crazy to even say you're not taking the game to Grimsby. But for Bruno not to really create much, Mason Mount, Diallo, it was just, the game was just flat. The performance from United was flat. And I think that's the best way you could put it. But yeah, he still has to go.
That is our biggest problem. Yes, yeah. Onana is a fucking bum. This guy got his hand on about 5 or 6 penalties and still didn't save one. He's a problem. He's a problem, but he's not the problem. The problem is this fucking coach, bro. This stupid system. When man saw Mason Mount coming on, we were like, right, we're going to go to a 4 at the back. Finally, he's going to change, bro. Finally, he's going to change. This brother put Mason Mount at left wing back to not change the formation. This brother did everything in his power to not change the shape of the team. We finished the game with 3 centre-backs, bro. Man saw overlapping centre-backs, bro, before we saw him change the system. When your centre-backs are overlapping, it's probably a good indicator that you probably just need to change the fucking system, Ruben, you absolute mug. We are tired of you. We are tired of the lies. We are tired of the gaslighting. We're tired of the shit. Oh, Manchester United, we weren't ready for Europe. No, you weren't ready for Europe. You weren't ready for Manchester United. You're a fucking scrub. This player's making fucking Andre Villas-Boas, yeah, look like Jose Mourinho. 24%, bro, win percentage.
Yo, any big team that has a manager who has 24% win ratio. Let me see what Graham Porter's win ratio was at Chelsea. Porter win percentage at Chelsea. I just want to see something real quick. Yo, his win percentage was 39%. Graham Porter's win percentage was 39%, and we still wanted him sacked. Let me look at Frank Lampard, because it's just, let me see something. Let me see something real quick. And he was one of the worst managers we've had in our history. As a player, clutch, but he is awful. Oh. So his first time around, his win percentage was 52.4%. His second time, it was literally 9%. But that's because he only played 11 games. And we won. Yo, this Almorin stint is like Frank Lampard's second stint at Chelsea. 9%. I mean, 9% is kind of crazy, but he only played 11 games. So if you give him double the games or triple the games and say, that comes right up to Almiron's, alley. You triple the games Lampard played and we don't, we still have the same win percentages. Yeah, we're literally looking at Almiron's win percentage. And Lampard was one of the worst managers in the Prem. Literally, at least for Chelsea, he was one of hell, even for Everton, he wasn't that good, was he? But for you to have a 27% win ratio at United, yeah, you got to go. You definitely have to be gone. I'm sorry.
You might be lower than that now, bro. Like I said, bro, if a man was standing or sitting on the edge of a fucking plane, getting ready to jump out, got your parachute on, got your goggles on, and then man said, yeah, there's a 24% chance that this parachute's going to open. Who's sliding their ass off the edge? Because I know I ain't. 24% don't look too good. Don't look too fucking good. What's the last test that you lot passed on 24%? I know GCSEs was the other day. I know a few of you, man, just got your GCSE results. Let me tell you something for free. If you got 24% in any of those tests, you failed.
That's true.
You failed.
That is very true.
I'll be honest. If you got 24% in GCSEs, you probably shouldn't think about going to college. Do you know what I'm saying? And you should probably be like a crash test dummy or something like that, because I'll be honest, you sit in the car, test the airbags in it. Because 24% is fucking diabolical. Get this guy out of my club. What are we playing at? What are we playing at?
Absolutely.
Penalties against Grimsby Town, bro. I'm not even upset, at Mbumo, because, bro, Mbumo got us the penalties in the first place, and he scored his first pen. You shouldn't really have to take 2 penalties in a penalty shootout. And then when you're going to take the second one, it's mind games, because you're like, should I go in the same corner? Should I not go in the same corner? Goalkeeper. It's like, bro, it's unnecessary pressure. Win the fucking game in normal time. It's Grimsby.
Facts.
And the thing is, there's going to be people out there talking about individual players and scapegoating players and stuff like that. The truth is, no player today looks great because the system was shit. So people are going to say, Sesko didn't play well, and this, that, and the other. I'm not worried about Sesko. What I've seen about Sesko's off-the-ball movement is good. He done some good linking of the play. I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about him at all. If I saw stuff that worried me, I would be honest. I told you with Rasmus Højlund straight away, as soon as I saw this guy playing football, he looks like his head's full of fucking fresh air, bruv. I'm not worried about Sesko. Under a decent manager in a decent system, he will score goals. Xerxes looked sharp when he came on. Cunha had one of them days where, like, it wasn't his day, but he kept still trying to create, kept trying to get on the ball, trying to do things. Mbumo took his goal well, came off the bench. He's not an inside forward. He needs to be on the touchline. He needs to be receiving the ball outside, cutting in where he can get shots.
Bomb. See, this was one of the things I've said before. Mbumo is not an inside forward. He is being misprofiled. Mbumo at Brentford wasn't no inside 10. He received the ball out wide, came in, and was dangerous. He's not that, creative metronome in those areas. Mbumo, I said this, and I'm glad somebody's backing this up. Mbumo is not an inside forward. He is a winger. He is a winger. So this trying to play Mbumo as an inside forward, you're wasting the guy's time. Playing Ahmad as a right wing back, you're wasting his time. Fair enough, you could play Cunha in those areas because, to be honest, Cunha is not really a winger now, is he? He's not really a forward. So, he's not really a striker when I say he's not a forward. He's not really like an out-and-out striker. Could he play the false 9 role for you? Yes. But Cunha looks like the kind of guy who wants to get involved in play, wants to hop on the ball, drive through the middle, either pop off shots or just be dangerous in and around the penalty box. So you want to play Cunha as one of your inside forwards? Fair. But you got to change your formation. Like literally, this United team is calling for a change of formation. Change it up. Like switch it up and like play players in certain positions. Because then, but the thing is now, if you switch your formation, right? The likes of Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount will potentially miss out. Because now you're going to be playing Mbeumo out wide on the right. I don't even know who you're going to play on the left. You could play Diallo. You could play Diallo on the left as a left winger, play Mbeumo on the right, and then just play Cunha centrally right behind Sesko. And you could run it like that. It's their players just don't. It just looks like a lot of players are going to have to play in roles that are not comfortable to them. Because Bruno Fernandes will be out of this team. Mason Mount definitely will be out of this team because Mason Mount is not a pivot type of player. Fernandes doesn't look comfortable in the pivot. Like, just doesn't have the defensive acumen to play that role. Like, he just doesn't have the defensive awareness to play that role. I said this literally when United were being linked to Baleba and, they were getting a Baleba. I said, honestly, Baleba, with this United team, it just looks like they're going to have to play Baleba and Ugarte as their DMs. Genuinely, Ugarte is the guy who just breaks play, wins the ball back and gives it to Baleba. Because Ugarte he's not really good in the ball now, is he? So if he's someone who's just breaking play, giving the ball to, Baleba, who's going to then drive or be someone who builds up your play from deep, then, you could do it. But Fernandes ain't going to be that profile, which is why I think Almirón doesn't really want to change his formation, because it's like putting, square pegs in round holes. This team is being built literally for 3-4-3, but players are still being played in the wrong positions. Because with a player like Mbeumo, right, you want to give Mbeumo like space to isolate his defender. When you're playing Mbeumo, when you're playing any type of player in those like crowded, central areas, they have to really be like that on it. They have to see the pass before the pass. Like, they have to be able to play in and around that chaos. Very nifty with the ball, very creative. Mbeumo has always looked like, the Salah type of player. Out wide, cuts in, bang. Out wide, takes on the defender, pull back, cuts back, bang. Not the player who's in those central areas trying to be very creative. And it's just, that doesn't look like his game. And I've always believed that. I've always said Mbeumo should be a player that should play out wide. He just doesn't look like, your inside 10. Mbeumo is not him. Play him out wide, play him to his strengths. Because now it just feels like you're playing everybody handicapped in a certain way. You're not playing these guys to their strengths. You're not really giving them the opportunity to just be productive. Cunha, like I said, you could leave him in that role. You can have Dorgu, out wide. But you really should not be playing Ahmad as a wingback. It's just, yes, Ahmad, a wingback, would absolutely have space on the flanks to be able to be dangerous. But you're giving him too much defensive responsibility. Like, Ahmad should be the guy. If you're not going to play him on the wings, have him on the bench. Because if you're Ahmad last season was cooking. Like, he was he was their most dangerous attacker. Like, he was basically the guy that was just showing up almost week in, week out for United on the right wing. So this wing back, you're really taking away a lot from Diallo's game. You're taking a lot from Mbeumo's game. Mbeumo's still going to give you something in that role, but it's just not going to be the best of his ability. You understand what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's just so much misprofiling, and it's just he's got to fix it somehow. Got to fix it somehow, and just figure it out. Because if he's going to step down, then who do United bring in? There's going to be coaches. You could bring people in, but it's just, are those the people you want to bring into your football club? You understand what I mean? Are those the people you really want to bring into your football club? But look, we're gonna wrap this off, wrap this segment on United and be like, yo, United, bro, yeah, they got a long season coming ahead, because boy, it's going to be very, very peak. And get another goalkeeper, man. Onana, if you have two, look, even us with Sanchez, we understand Sanchez ain't good. You understand what I mean? We know Sanchez ain't the guy, but surely he's miles better than Onana. Like he is genuinely better than Onana. Your second option, Bayendir, just not it. You can't rely on anybody else. It's just sad. But if they got to go get this Le Mans guy, look, don't know much about him, but if they feel he's a guy who's going to come in and handle business for them, go handle business for them, and just keep it moving. But let's go to some transfer news, because all summer we've been waiting for some movements, especially with certain players. We've been waiting for something to happen. We've been waiting for some people to be moved on, for other players to come in, and now, yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? But the links came in strongly for Fermin Lopez. And now everyone is going, are we going to pull out of the Xavi Simons deal? What are we doing? Like, he's now being linked with Tottenham, and it's looking like we're going to be hijacked. And it's, Fabrizio has always said Chelsea need to move Nkunku on for Xavi Simons to come in. It's always been Nkunku out, Chelsea accelerate for Xavi Simons. Chelsea are confident on Garnacho, but they have to sell Nkunku for Xavi Simons to proceed. And then yesterday, we got a very nice surprise out of nowhere, where it said, okay, cool. AC Milan have made contact to explore deal for Christopher Nkunku. Among attacking options, Milan are in active talks for new signings up front, and Nkunku has been discussed in the recent hours. Player open to leave Chelsea in the final days. Now, we've been trying to sell Nkunku for time. Bayern Munich have come in with some bullshit loan offers. We didn't want it. We were not interested. We're like, if you're going to take him on a loan, it's got to be an obligation to buy. We only have one international loan spot left. We still have few players we have to shift out. Your Sterlings, your Desasis, your Chilwell, Jackson, and Nkunku. So there's no loan like just with an option. We want obligations. Bayern Munich have been dragging their feet. Other teams have been reportedly in for Nkunku. And then boom, AC Milan made contact. They want to make a deal happen for Nkunku. All right, cool. So then now we're waiting for this deal to happen, where we're chilling. And then today we get, where is it? Was it 4 hours ago? Okay. So then we get this. Understand the total package for Christopher Nkunku to AC Milan could reach 42 million euros, add-ons included. Chelsea accept initial fixed fee higher than 35 million euros plus add-ons. So look, we've always known we had to shift Nkunku. UEFA's not going to let us register our new signings. I believe if the squad we had in the Conference League is higher than the squad we have in the champs now, hence why we needed to let Nkunku go, Jackson go, for Xavi Simons to come in, and for Garnacho. Now, the Garnacho situation, it's almost like he's homegrown. You can add him to the B list. You need to get players out of the A list to be able to register players. So now it's looking like, okay, this deal for Nkunku is pushing through. And then we got the exclusive. Christopher Nkunku to AC Milan. Here we go. Deal verbally agreed in principle between the clubs. AC Milan and Chelsea are set to prepare documents today. Fee will be in the region of 35 with add-ons, which he said it was going to be 42. 5-year contract. Lovely. So then now we're all expecting, okay, the Xavi Simons deal to now accelerate. Fabrizio, he's made sure to let us know all of the summer about this whole Garnacho situation. And yesterday, there were, figures being thrown around. Chelsea have, put down 35 to 40 mil for United's Garnacho. And look, we've always said anything over 30 feels like you're overpaying, because that doesn't sound and scream like a market opportunity. A market opportunity is a very, it's what AC Milan just did to us. That's what a market opportunity is. They came in 42 million euros. You get about what? Between 35 to 38 million pounds. That's a market opportunity for Christopher Nkunku. Experience, winner, still has a lot of, just age on his side. He's 27. This is what a market opportunity looks like. But if you're looking at someone like a Garnacho, who has been basically discarded, told to find a new club, then there should be no reason you're paying anything more than 30 million. But you also got to understand the market. United are going to want to get something for the player. Chelsea are looking at this as someone we could obviously flip in the future. So anywhere between 35 plus add-ons up to 40, for me, I still feel like it's steep. But if you have to pay 40 million all in all for Garnacho, then it means he's hit the add-ons, which means he's done something productive for you to trigger those add-ons. It's not a great deal. It's honestly a terrible one. But it just like I've said this on Garnacho. It's just not the kind of player, I envisioned when I wanted to see signings come in. Just the guys, it's just terrible to watch on the eye. He's not, he's not he's no. But look, this is just where we're at. This deal is happening whether we like it or not. Am I going to support the guy? I always support anybody that comes in. Even though I might be not excited about it, I'm not going to be, pleased about the deal. I'm going to support whoever we sign to come in and, add something to this team. So for me, it's like, yo, you know what? It's a shitty deal. It's not a great one, but he's here. If he's going to be depth, get some minutes off the bench, I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'm cool. But the whole thing with Xavi Simons now, it's like, what's really happening? Because we've been told once Nkunku leaves, Xavi Simons comes in. So what's happening? What's the delay? People have their own theories. Chelsea are more focused on Fermin Lopez. And, Xavi Simons is going to go to Tottenham. And, Spurs have bid. I think Play Gold said Spurs had bid 70 million euros all in all. And it's like, Fabrizio came out and said, no bid has been placed. Spurs are not going to bid until they know for sure. Like, I guess they get the inclination, like, yeah, they can bid. Chelsea's still in the race. Tottenham are going to be in the race. And, rightfully so. Like, Spurs need a player. They just lost Eze to Arsenal. They still need somebody for the 10 position. Why wouldn't they want to put their names in the hat for Xavi Simons? Like, why wouldn't they want to do that? He's a good player. He's available. Leipzig want to sell. Nothing has been agreed with Leipzig. Yes, Chelsea have personal terms, but from Spurs' point of view, nothing is official. I'm going to put my name in the hat. And if for some reason Chelsea somehow decide they don't want to pay the money Leipzig want, then here goes Spurs. All right, Xavi Simons, you want to leave Spurs. We know you want to come to London, the Prem. You're going to be our talisman. We'll give you the number 10 shirt. I don't know who wears that right now for Spurs, but, we'll pay you more. This is your position. Come and help the team. We started, and the good thing is they've started the season off really well. 2 wins. They're in Europe. They're in the Champions League, so it's not like they're not in Europe as well. So you can actually offer that to Xavi Simons and go, hey, you know what? We're in Europe. You're going to add a lot to this team. Chelsea clearly aren't really, serious about you, because then they would have just paid the money. But it's like, yo, bro, we have agreed personal terms with a guy. It's always, all summer we've heard full priority to Chelsea. He said no to Bayern Munich. He said no to Tottenham. Chelsea, it's his priority. He said no to other clubs. I want to go to Chelsea. Fabrizio himself said, ring, ring. Xavi Simons is saying to Chelsea, and I'm ready whenever you call me to come do my medical. I'm ready to go. So then there should be no shift in that energy on Xavi's side, because Chelsea have always maintained, we've agreed personal terms with you. We want to move Nkunku and players out, and we want to get you in. You've taken RB Leipzig out of your profile. You followed a bunch of the Chelsea guys. Again, it doesn't really guarantee, it doesn't really guarantee anything is going to happen. But yo, Chelsea have been there all summer. This is like the Chelsea Caicedo situation where we've done all the groundwork. We've literally laid out what, your contract terms are going to be, what your role in the team is going to be, what we expect from you. We've done all the groundwork all summer. So we've already gotten the players buy-in. And even though if Leipzig really want to do a whole auction situation, the highest bidder, the player could be like, yo, I'm not going there. And from everything we've been told, he wants Chelsea and nobody else. Jaro Hato is one of his boys, right? We have Hato over here. Here's the thing. If you're Xavi Simons, would you rather want to play with the world champions? Or would you rather want to play with a pretend European champions? I mean, to be fair, I'm not discounting the trophy because they are European champions, but we are world champions. Like we are big dogs. Like real talk though. Like in all seriousness, there's no reason you pick Spurs over Chelsea unless two things. Chelsea don't want you. Spurs are paying you ridiculous amounts of bread, which at that point, look, you either have to pick, do I want to go make more money or do I want to be a winner? If you look at Chelsea and Tottenham, and this is not even a conversation, by the way, but who has the bandwidth to be competing season in, season out? So all of this whole Tottenham, and it's just like Spurs, yo, you did the same thing with Eze. You want to hijack the hijackers. And this is from Pies. According to Build Information, RB has not received an official written offer. So far, the club and Chelsea have only exchanged verbal numbers in exploratory talks, which is said to be in the region of 65 million euros. So we have basically been talking to RB Leipzig, and we're like, hey, listen, we don't want to go into a bidding war type of situation. We want to, even Ben Jacobs said it himself, Chelsea are not trying to do throwing numbers out there where, other teams are going to be like, oh, yeah, you guys are talking around 65. Okay, I got 65 in me. I want to talk to you, too, about Xavi Simons. Chelsea are trying to get the full buy-in, which we have from the player, and we're talking to RB Leipzig. Yo, how much is this really going to cost? Let's just work on these numbers. We have a good relationship. We've been buying players from you for time. Let's just make this happen. No need to invite other teams into a bidding war. Let's just get you your money, because the guy is not going to stay at RB Leipzig. He's not going to renew his contract. He wants to go to the Prem. He wants to go to Chelsea. The whole, like I said, ring. So this, if Chelsea decide to walk away from this deal, then they just decided to walk away from it. And at that point, I will be upset. Yes, I'm sure we will all be very disappointed. But guess what? It is what it is. It ain't like we're not going to bring in options. We've been told all summer, Chelsea want to have 9 attackers in total, 9 of them. So now we have Pedro, we have Delap, we have Gittins, we have Palmer, we have Esteval, we have Pedro, Neto. The first one was Joao Pedro. And then we have Neto. So that's 6. I mean, if you want to throw in Tyreek George, but he's either going to be loaned out or he's either going to be sold. It's looking like he might be either added to the whole Leipzig situation for Xavi Simons. But if we need 9 attackers, because that's what we've been told, Chelsea want to have 9. That means you're bringing Garnacho, you're bringing Xavi Simons, and we're still left with space for one more. So are Chelsea going to be able to really just surprise us and go Garnacho, Simmons, Fermin Lopez? Because that's something I would like to see. Is it greedy? Absolutely. But as a big team, you need to have a big squad. Because how many times have we been told the way you rotated in the Conference League, you can't do it in the Champions League? We've been told that time and time again. You cannot rotate the same way in the Conference League like you do in the Champs. So if you want to have your team, a solid team, to be able to play both competitions, and you still have cup games coming along, then this should be a no-brainer. You're selling Nkunku. You're getting rid of Jackson. You're getting rid of Tyreek George. Okay, bring all three in. 3 in, 3 out. And then you get Disasi out, you get Choa out, you get Sterling out, and then you're comfortable. So for me, I would like to see all three happen. I think, look, I believe Xavi Simons, that deal is going to happen because there's no way you've literally agreed personal terms. You've waited all summer just for you to go, I want to go to Tottenham now. It just makes no sense. Like it makes no sense. So what was the whole point of, you should have just went to Spurs a long time ago. What was the whole point of waiting, agreeing personal terms? Now we have agreed personal terms with some players that we've never gone back in for. Mike Maignan, for an example, agreed personal terms, never went back in for him. So we also know our directors have the capacity to be bottle jobs. Yes, they've fumbled some deals along the way. Olise, for one, fumbled. They fumbled that. Osimhen fumbled. So they also have a reputation for literally doing the weirdest stuff. But also, when it's been push come to shove, if the directors are not getting it done, the big boys step in. Caicedo, big boy stepped in. Enzo Fernandez, big boy stepped in. You know what I mean? So, look, they've been given a 6-year deal. So we got to deal with Winstanley and the other one for another 6 years. We're always going to get signings like Garnachos that we don't want. We're going to get signings like Joao Felix that, a portion of the fan base liked, but theoretically, it just didn't work out. We're still going to get signings like your Vegas, bought on the cheap, sold. And that's just going to be it. But it's just, look, get Xavi Simons in. You're already getting Garnacho. Let's just make it happen and call it a day. You know what I mean? It's just, we need signings, okay? Nkunku's out. We need his replacement. Jackson is not going to be here. Ideally, I would have kept Jackson because when you play, because there's going to be certain games where you have to play Delap and Joao Pedro. You're going to have to play Delap, Joao Pedro, and Cole Palmer together. There's going to be games you got to do that. So now we need somebody to come off the bench in that striker role. So it just feels like we either need someone that we can, say, I guess like at the end of games, you could just push, I don't know, I don't want to see Neto playing the false 9 role. I don't want to see Palmer playing the false 9 role. Can you play a Xavi Simons as a false 9? Can you make it work? You see what I'm saying? I want strikers playing the striker role. And now, even Nicholas Jackson, Fabrizio said Chelsea want to wait and see what the development is with the Isak situation with Liverpool before Chelsea sanction, a deal for Jackson. So if Isak doesn't go to Liverpool, yeah, I mean, I don't think so. See, with the Xavi Simons thing, it's not like he's going to Spurs. Tottenham are interested. Plexi Gold reported this morning that they had submitted a 70 million euro offer, but then other, outlets are saying, nah, nothing has been submitted. They're in talks with the player. The player, it has been given permission by Leipzig to go to London and to, kind of resolve his future. So then I'm just thinking, like, if it's been Chelsea all summer, you've been waiting on Chelsea. If you're in London, surely you're just waiting for us. Ring, Simmons. Yeah. Head to the headquarters. Go do your medical. Sign on this line. We got to register you for the weekend and call it a day. But look, I don't blame Spurs for being ambitious. Like, they literally brought in Kudus, who's been, the standout player for them so far. Almost got Gibbs White. Almost got Eze. So they're showing some ambition. Xavi Simons is is nothing short of ambition. So I get it. They're going to put their name in the hat, but it's just always been Chelsea, as we've been told, at least. So it's really, and he has personal terms agreed with us. So all we have to do is agree terms with Leipzig, bro, and he's good. He's coming in. So I think we're gonna get this signing over the line. But hey, if Tottenham somehow get to hijack this deal, oh my God, yo, it will be because they didn't let us even rest with that Kudus situation. And even with Kudus, news came out that we had agreed, contract terms, personal terms with Kudus, even before Spurs signed him. The only reason Tottenham got him was we needed to sell Noni and we needed players to go. That's why we couldn't sign Kudus. And obviously, and the whole thing with news also came out, Kudus only won Spurs. But Kudus, we've burned him twice already. The first time from Ajax, we agreed to personal terms with Kudus, and we just didn't go back in for that deal. We focused on other deals and just left them hanging. So if I'm Kudus, I'm taking that with a pinch of salt. So him going to Spurs is just what it is. You know what I mean? He's a good coach, man. Like Thomas Frank, when you see his Brentford teams, they're always disciplined. They're always giving the big teams a fight. So yes, he is absolutely a very good coach, disciplined. His structure, his team, he sets them up really well. He's going to make them hard to beat. Like, how many times did we go play Brentford and we were struggling against Brentford? So him, Tottenham is that next level for him as a coach, test himself. And then if he really starts getting them constantly in like top 5, top 4, winning a cup here and there. And who knows if Thomas Tuchel decides to step down, Thomas Frank could be that guy who goes into that role again with England. I mean, conversations have been had about him saying, he could be, the next England coach. So yeah, they could. And funny enough, like United really could have been, they could have been doing with the Thomas Frank right now. They could have been doing with someone with, it's just, Almorin. Yeah. I kind of feel a bit for him because you've seen everything that's happening. You see everything that's happening in Portugal when he was there, and it's like, yo, was he really going to not do well in England? And it's just, it's really shocking. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have no idea, but it's weird. But with Nicholas Jackson, however, we want to wait and see because Bayern Munich, they've been offering us some bookie, stupid, useless kind of offers. We want a sale or an obligation in the loan. Bro, we're not trying to do this. Loan you Jackson, you let him sit on the bench for a long time, and then you send him back to us, and then we got to deal with that. Nah, if you don't want Jackson, teams like Aston Villa are interested. Newcastle are interested. And if now us Chelsea fans, we're in a position where on one hand, we don't want Isak going to Newcastle because obviously, why would you want to strengthen your rival? It's just Liverpool with Isak. It's just a problem for the league. It's a problem for Europe. Like, I don't want to play Liverpool with Isak, but also it's like, if he goes though, they probably come in for Jackson and you get a nice little penny for it. If you're offering 50 M's, and that's the thing, people are seeing it. You're offering 50 mil. You're willing to offer 60 mil for Larson at Wolves. When it comes to Jackson, nobody wants to hear we value Jackson at 50 million euros. No. You're literally offering 60 for Larson at Wolves. You got to give me the same money. You got to start your conversations at 60 when it comes to Jackson. Because even though, yes, we have upgraded with Pedro, Joao Pedro, and Delap, don't get it twisted. Jackson still offers you a lot. He still offers you a lot. So don't bring us, those little 50 million euros. Now, I'm sorry. Give us the peas. Give us the money. We want the bread. We have other signings we want to do. Gorav says Chelsea have a better chance to win the Prem this season. Sign Xavi Simons could be signing of the season. I'm not gonna lie, for me, signing of the season, I'm looking at Joao Pedro because just how the guy has come in, he's just settled into life comfortably, and it just feels like one of those signings that just goes on to the next level. Xavi Simons definitely will add a lot more to this team as well. Now we have options. Palmer's not available. Cool. plug in Xavi Simmons. Palmer's not available. Cool. Plug in Esteval. Have Neto on one flank, Esteval centrally, Xavi Simons on the right, and we cook. Okay, cool. Plug Neto on the left, Esteval on the right, Xavi Simons centrally, and we're cooking either way. And these guys can, they can just interchange and be dangerous. You have either Delap or Joao Pedro up there, and you have Caicedo, Santos, Enzo, Lavia. Bro, the only thing with Chelsea this season is our goalkeeper. Because I think even if we had an Alisson type of goalkeeper in goal, Chelsea is still looked at as, people who can challenge for the Prem. To be honest with you, even if we had Alisson and we still had the defense we have now, because our defenders are not terrible, by the way. Like, if we're going to be so real and honest, we had the third best, defensive record in the Prem last season. Around that time, we still had Colwell that wasn't really established as a leader, as a key figure. Our team was still kind of getting to that point. It was getting to the tail end of the season. The last 3, 4, 5 months, that's when you saw these guys almost like really locked in. And especially after we won that Conference League, you just saw these guys just take it to a different level. You know what I mean? And then the Club World Cup, you've seen the consistency. So it's like we have been very solid. So even if you don't have a Colwell, you have a Tosin, you have a Chalobah, who, for me, I'm somebody who has always said Chalobah is a good squad option, but you could always improve on Chalobah. You could always improve on Tosin as well. But if there's no clear improvements on these two guys, and not in Marguerite, I don't think Marguerite is. I think Marguerite will be a slight improvement. But you're looking at Chalobah now; he's locking in his consistency. He's cutting down on the bozo moments. The guy is also at a point where he's getting to a certain point in his age and career where you just start to grow and mature, and you understand what's needed of you from the role. So you add that into it. It's like, okay, even though I don't rate you as highly, I think you're still a solid enough option to do what we need to do. So Chalobah, Tosin, you give me a good goalkeeper. Even if you give Chelsea a Donnarumma, I think we can challenge for the league. Donnarumma, with all his flaws on the ball, his bozo moments, yes, we understand. But just from a shot stopping point of view, very, very commanding in his penalty box. I think you could definitely challenge with him, with Donnarumma. Sanchez, I'm not too sure. But with Donnarumma, yes, you can. Even with the defense we have. Like, we genuinely just need, with Colwell out, we just need somebody to just take on that role and be a leader, which I think Tosin is going to really relish. But yeah, I think we should still be challenging. We should still, and that's the thing. When you put your chest on the table as a Chelsea fan, it's like, oh, why do you think you can win the league? You ain't ready. And then when you go, okay, we're not ready, it's also, why aren't you putting chest on the table? Why you spent $2 billion? Why aren't you saying you're gonna win? It's like, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, I'll be so honest. So it doesn't even matter if you say you're gonna challenge or not. If you say you're gonna challenge, sure. If you don't say it, it's okay. You're still not gonna. It's just weird. It's just very weird. But it's just. I think we're gonna challenge. I do want to talk about one more video. Let me see. Give me 1 second. There's one video I want to talk about. Where is it? But I'm liking how we've been able to, just shift a bunch of these guys out. Like, we've been able to, move players out of the way. We've been able to basically get some players in. And yeah, we should be good. I think we should be fine. Where's the video I'm looking for? This was a straight facts video. And it was just LB and this other guy just talking a lot of crap. Can't find it. They were just chatting some wasp, bro. And I'm just like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, what are you? All right, let's go here. Let's see. Where is it? Straight facts. Oh, there it is. This one right here. There we go. Let me bring this here. One sec, people. I do want to just talk about this video really quickly before we head out of here. But people, like the video, sub to the channel, man. Hop in the comments. Let me know how you feel. I want to talk about this video before we wrap up this. Okay. I think Jimmy did have a reaction to this, but I always wanted to talk about this video as well because I was getting tight when I was listening to half the crap these guys were saying. But yeah, guys, just let's listen to this a little bit because it's sometimes it's very disingenuous, right? When these guys just have these opinions and they just want to just talk and not be objective with it. Like it's annoying. I like the fact that you can banter and whatnot, but when you're trying not to be objective, it's just annoying. It's just annoying to listen to. But yeah, let's listen to this.
Against West Ham at the weekend, they scored lots of goals, but prioritising Garnacho over Lopez or Xavi, is it the right move by Chelsea?
Not Garnacho. No, I don't understand this signing. If they go and get Garnacho, again, it's just like Chelsea are not a bad team, as I've said plenty of times, but I just don't think they've got anywhere near enough to be in a title race, which I've said many times. Yeah, and going and getting Garnacho is going to do absolutely nothing to change my opinion on that. Yeah, they need proven players. They've got so many young players in there, so many players that are developing. They need they need proven players in that team that can drag the experience up. You're looking around, Esteban.
So much has been said about Chelsea and experience, right? And you look at Man City, one of their most experienced players, Gundogan. He was one of their worst last season, if not. Ruben Diaz was one of their worst, if not, last season. So for me, I just don't understand this whole they need proven. I'm not gonna lie, Guraf. I don't. Great is a stretch, bro. He's a great player. I'm curious. Who do you support? Which team do you support? I'm very curious because the word "great." Yeah, bro, you kind of lost me. I'm not gonna lie. Great is crazy. Like he's an. Oh, you're a Palace fan. Okay, fairs. Okay, respect. Yeah, you've had a better season than Arsenal. Arsenal fans can't even talk to you. But great is like, I'm sorry, bro. Great is kind of. I can't agree with you on this. I know you rate him. Does Garnacho have the ability, or does he have the scope to develop a lot, more? Yes, right? You look at when we had Pochettino, when Poch was our coach, people looked at a lot of our players, and you heard, was it Hussam even said, I'll take a lot of players from Wolves than I would from Chelsea. Mind you, we had Caicedo, we had Enzo, we had Palmer, we had Gusto, we had Colwell, we had Jackson, we had Noni. But yes, people said, yo, we'll take a lot of players from Wolves than Chelsea. Newcastle have a better team than Chelsea. Aston Villa have a better team than Chelsea. And it's just, this is what happens when you have a terrible coach. Pochettino had our players looking like they've never touched grass before. They were just whatever. The only one that looked really good, or the only few people that looked really good under Poch, was Malo Gusto and Cole Palmer. Caicedo looked like he just didn't know what he was doing. Enzo looked like he didn't know what he was doing. So what we've always said, Chelsea fans have always maintained, when we have a proper coach come in, a coach who's going to give you structure and a system to be able to play, these guys are going to look a lot better than they do. But when you have somebody who just doesn't know what he's doing, it's a problem. It looks awful. It sucks. So you keep talking about Chelsea need experience. They need, people to come in. It's like, bro, Enzo has been in the Prem damn near 4 seasons now. This is like Caicedo's third season in the Prem. Tosin has been in the Prem for ages. Played with Fulham, Man City, now Chelsea. You understand what I mean? Colwell played at Brighton, got some really good experience, came back to Chelsea. Cole Palmer played around some brilliant players. Kevin De Bruyne, your prime Gundogans. He played with these players, prime Sterlings. Sterling. So these guys have been able to learn and pick from just everything. Now these guys are winning together. They've experienced loss together. They've experienced success together. And you could just tell the standard is different. When we played against West Ham and we went 1-0 down, you didn't see no panic. You didn't see, the guys literally changing anything. We kept playing our game. We kept playing our game. Minutes later, we brought the game back to 1-1. Even when we scored that second goal, when they scored the second goal and it was offside, we just put the ball back down and we just played our game. We just played our game and we start carving out, West Ham like it was some cold turkey. Just pom, pom, pom. So for me, it's like people want to keep saying this experience situation. Cucurella has so much experience. He's a winner. I don't understand this. Like, bro, you don't need to be buying, your Lautaro Martinez's, and you don't need to be bringing in, your Tarkovskis, and you don't need all of that. You genuinely don't. So I don't understand. Like, look at how is the experience working for some big teams? Some of the most experienced players are their worst ones. Like I said, Gundogan is one of the Man City's terrible players as of last season. Look at Ruben Diaz. They want him gone. Shit, they're trying to sell Akanji. Like, what are we talking about, bro? This whole experience is not always about, like, age. Experience is your exposure to what you've been doing. Someone can be 18 years old. Someone could be 19, but they've been working a job. Bro, if you're a mechanic who started being a mechanic since he was 15 and you're 25 right now, bro, that's literally 10 years of experience. It doesn't mean when someone's 35 and they've been doing, being a mechanic for, I don't know, a couple of years. It doesn't mean they have the experience. Experience is how long you've been doing it. Look at Esteval. He's played over 100 games for, Palmeiras in the Brazilian league. Has so much experience. Cole Palmer has played over 80 games for Chelsea right now. Enzo Fernandez has so many games under his belt. So what are we really doing here, bro? Pedro Neto has been in the league for seasons. Joao Pedro played in Europe with Brighton. Played with Watford. He has experience. Like, I don't understand what this whole experience doesn't have to be Chelsea go out and they go sign someone who's 32. Like, yes, if you go sign me a Thiago Silva who's 34, then yeah, we're talking. But you don't always get a Thiago Silva on the market. So I just, this experience talk it bores me. It literally bores me at times. Like, it makes no sense. No, look, if you put Garnacho under a good manager, yeah, he probably could do something. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. You know what I mean? But let's
Delap, Pedro, yeah, and then you go back line as well. Like, a lot of these players, mate, like, have even not won anything or just extremely young. Even the Caicedos of this world who are fantastic players, how much have they actually won? So yeah, I just don't understand this, man. It's just like
Enzo Fernandez has won the World Cup, Copa America, Club World Cup, Conference League. What are you on? Like. And he won in Argentina as well. So, like, what? I don't understand this whole experience talk.
You can sign players that are over the age of 24. Like, do they know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do they just always go for these young players? That's not...
It's very annoying. Like, listen to this theory. If you have a company, no, he just does. He hates. No, bro, this guy is a Chelsea hater, bro. He genuinely is. That's just the reality. It's like one day he wants to praise Chelsea, the other day he just wants to just talk out of his ass. It's just what it is. But think about it like this. If you own a business And you used to be a water selling business. You used to sell water. That used to be your business. And then you rebrand and you say, we're taking our business from just water. Now we're not going to be selling water. We're selling paint. This is our new business model. We're going to be selling paint for people who want to buy paint to build their houses. Now, when you used to sell water, yes, you used to make a lot of money because that was your business. Your business was very successful, but somehow you lost all your capital. You lost all your investors. Okay, cool. Now you have a new opportunity to go into selling paint. And you've told people, hey, we this is what we do now. We're a paint selling company. We don't sell water no more. Why is it so hard for people to grasp the fact that when Chelsea's new owners came in, they said, yo, this is the model we're going for. We're going to sign the best young players available in the world. And we want them to grow. This is not verbatim, but we essentially want all these guys to have an opportunity to grow together. This has always been what they said. We're going to buy the best young players so we can build a team that will be sustainable for the future. So just because you want them to buy players who are 26 and up, don't mean squat. It don't mean nothing. They've literally told you, this is our new brand. This is our model. We're buying the young players and we want them to grow. Your question is, but why? Because this is what I want to do. Like, it just, the quicker you understand that, the easier it is for everybody. We're no more selling water. We're a paint company now. But why you want to sell paint? Because that's the fucking business I want to do. Like, I don't understand this. Yes, once in a while, Chelsea can buy, a Thiago Silva. That's an exception to the rule. Once in a while, they'll look at a player that's over a certain age. But again, you're looking at a lot of these, they're like, we want players that are going to come in at a certain age so we can also have, a long time out of these guys. You want to get someone like a Joao Pedro. You want to have someone like a Delap, who you can have at the club for the next 5-6 years. And even if you want to revamp the squad, you can still get some good money to come in for Delap and Joao Pedro, invest it into your next Joao Pedro, into your next Delap, and make more money. Like, we have to make money somehow. We have to make money how we can. We don't have a front of the shirt sponsor, so we got to get our bread from wherever we can. This is how we're doing it. We're buying your Vegas, and selling them. More money, you get Joao Pedro. You're able to spend 100 million on Enzo. You're able to spend 100 million on Caicedo. Every team in the world right now will take Caicedo on their team. Caicedo is the best defensive midfielder in the league. One of the best midfielders in the league, period. And one of the best in the world. Caicedo's only like 23. Like, bro, what's your point? Like, they don't have to be old to be good. Look at Cole Palmer. Over 70 goals and assists in 2 seasons. Only 23, about to be 24. What is your point? Lavia, only 21. About to be 22 or 23. One of the best midfielders, went fit. And eventually he's going to get fit because you've seen what has been done with Reece James. So this whole experience conversation, I don't understand why it needs to be old heads. It doesn't have to be old people all the time. We have a very young, one of the youngest teams went and played the champions of Europe at the time, PSG, and slapped the shit out of them. Bro, we beat PSG comprehensively. And because we were so good, the excuse was PSG were tired. I'm sorry. We all played on the same pitch in the same country and the same time. PSG weren't under the scorching sun, and Chelsea's half wasn't just roofed up under shade. It was the same weather conditions. Same situation. The best team just won on the day. So this chat about, like, Chelsea fans understand Garnacho is not going to be the needle mover. We understand. We understand this is a strictly money move. This is a strictly opportunistic signing that they know they can have Garnacho for a little bit and still sell him on. We understand the model. We don't like it, but we understand what is happening with him. So using him as the face of why Chelsea are not going to challenge is disingenuous. Because why didn't you say Caicedo? Why didn't you say Enzo? Everybody was just here watching us bop off the champions of Europe off the park. So to use Garnacho in this situation is just wild. It's crazy. It's just, I don't get it. We signed players from Bolton Wanderers, Gary Cahill. We signed Cesar Azpilicueta for 7 mil. Was it from Marseille or was it Lyon? One of them teams. Bro, like we've bought some of these players and they've been our best ones. Like real talk. Like we bought Palmer for 40 M's. And then everybody was like, why are you buying Cole Palmer? Someone who doesn't have a Prem goal? But then Palmer's coming and he hit the ground running. And now you got to move the goalpost. Unbelievable, man. It's actually a shame. But like you said, even Palace motto is the same. And you know, the thing is, like, we bought Conte from Leicester. Thank you very much. For 35 M's. Like, and you know, the thing is, they always want to keep going back to this Roman era. But it's like, bro, Roman is not here no more. He's gone. You're not going to get the Roman era back. Eras, you know, eras move on. Seasons change. Yo, 4 years ago, it was what? 2021. You're not going to get 2021 back. Roman is gone. Like, move on, bro. Get with the program. Like, it just sounds like every single time they just want to say something, it's just, oh, 2 billion spent. Young players. Yeah, so what, bro? So what? This is what the ownership wants to do. This is their motto. So just understand it or just keep making noise. It just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, let's listen to some more.
Understand it, man. Like, they're not a bad team, Chelsea, but they're not gonna win the league or be in a title race by signing Garnacho. Yeah. They've got a decent team. They're gonna be top 5, which I've said. But people think they're gonna be a title race. No chance. No way they're in a title race, mate. Yeah, it's not happening because they signed too many of these type of players. And if they just went out and signed, why did they go get Rodrigo? Why did they go get Rodrigo? Go put 100 million down on the table and get Rodrigo. What type of signings that they should be making?
Bro.
Now they're going, fucking hell, you know what? Let me reconsider.
Rodrigo is going to win the Chelsea the Premier League. Come on, man. Even you don't believe this. One player does not win you the Prem. Yes, Rodrigo will be a nice addition to this Chelsea team. Rodrigo will come in and add, you know, some flair, you know, some nice attacking options. But you people have not rated this defense and this Chelsea team for long. Rodrigo is not changing that. Rodrigo by himself is not coming in and winning us the league. For Rodrigo to win us the league, he got to be scoring over 25 Prem goals and having over 15 assists. How many times have you seen Rodrigo get you over 20 goals a season and 15 assists? Like, let's not do this. Rodrigo is a nice player, but he's not winning Chelsea the league. Now, if you want to win Chelsea the league, you go get Arsenal's center-back partnership, Saliba, Gabriel. You bring in Rodrigo, and you bring his Alisson. Now Chelsea can win the league because now you've just improved every single part of that team. And yes, we're still going to challenge. We're just not going to win it. Like, you're still going to challenge. It's just a matter of how far you're going to be from you know, the leaders, the winners. Remember, anybody who doesn't win the league, we're all losers, bro. We are all losers. Only one person gets to walk away with the Prem. That's it. Everybody else is a loser. Even if you lose it by 1 point, you're still a loser. You're just not better than the team that won. Maresca is an underrated manager. He's the next Pep, in my opinion. You know what? He has the potential to grow into it. And hopefully we get to see what Maresca can do with us. You know, Maresca wasn't really like the first option or the first choice for a lot of Chelsea fans. And we can be honest about that. He really wasn't. But he's come in and he's done his thing. He has really done his thing. Yes, he's going to make mistakes. Everybody does. But we're happy with the manager we have, and we're cool with it. We're chill with that. You know what I mean? We're cool with Maresca, and it just feels like we're going to get better, and we're going to do better. But, yeah. He just talks, bro. Like one day he'll be like, Chelsea is so good. That was a great performance. Da, 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 da. I get it. That's what rivals do. That's literally what rivals do. But this whole, like, Rodrigo's not winning you the Prem. So let's stop it. You see how it took his time to get rid of players like Nkunku. You look at their wages and whatnot. Rodrigo's coming in on a high wage. Like, on a very big wage. So it's just, you're going to put yourself in a situation where now your best players have to also get to that point. And if you're not winning consistently, Rodrigo is not going to be the guy who brings his consistency, by the way. You know, they say titles win you, defenses win you titles, attack wins you games. Rodrigo will win his games, but you need a very solid defensive unit. That's where we're trying to get to. You know, Rodrigo, let me look at let me see how many goals Rodrigo has scored. Rodrigo, let's see how many goals he's like the highest goals he scored for Real Madrid. Highest goal tally. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how many goals he scored in the season. Okay. So his highest was 17 goals in all comps for Real Madrid. But then it shows in 2024, 2025, he scored 18, 2021, 22. That's 17 goals. And that's all in comps. Bro, Rodrigo, 19 goals, 17 goals in all comps ain't winning you the league. You got to be doing 17 goals in all comps and like another, 15 assists, 17, 18 assists in all comps. So I just don't understand why, for some reason, people think Rodrigo is going to come in and give us that many goals. He is not. Literally, you look at 2023, 2024, he had 15 goals and assists. The season before that, he had 17 goals and assists. The season before that, he had 11 goals and assists. Bro, that's it. The most goals in a La Liga season was 10. How are you winning the league with 10 goals? You're not winning the league with 10 goals from Rodrigo. So stop the chat. Like, you're just talking. Of course. Right now, we have a much better. You take Erling Haaland out of that Man City team, it just looks flat. It looks flat. We're always going to have that structure now because we have a manager that has that structure. He should be focusing on his team. Why isn't Man City going for Rodrigo? Bro, you have shimmy and run on your left flank. Why don't you go for him? Like, what are you talking about? Why don't you go for Rodrigo? You have Doku and Savio. Savio is one of the most overrated players we've ever come across. Mad overrated. Don't score enough goals. Don't have that many assists. But you're talking about we go get Rodrigo? Yeah, I get it. Man City have won the Prem in the last couple of years. So you have to chat. You can say, yo, you know what? We've been able to do it. We've been there, done that. But Rodrigo's not winning us the league. So stop that talk. Like come on. Let's not even do this. Yeah, they did lose to Spurs. They always lose to Spurs. Just chat.
But they'll go and get Garnacho and you expect me to sit here and say, God, they're in a title race. Not happening, mate. Yeah? So go sign Garnacho, man. But it ain't changing my opinion. Not good enough to be in a title race. Yeah, not good enough. They're a good team. They'll finish top 5. I think they'll finish top 5 comfortably.
Right.
Yeah, but
last season,
nowhere near the title race. I just don't see it. They've not got enough proof.
We literally, if we had beaten Liverpool, we would have went on top of the Prem table. We were genuinely in there. And even we kept saying we're not in the title race. And rivals kept saying we are in the title race. So we should own up to it. We said, yo, we're not ready. Maresca said we're not ready. And in hindsight, even at the time, I was like, yo, I feel like this is not the mindset I want the manager to be giving the players, saying we're not ready. Because, yo, you want these guys to feel confident. You want them to feel like, you know what? When push comes to shove, they can believe in themselves and they can challenge. So I wanted the manager to be like, yo, listen, in public or even in private, just let these guys know, yo, we could do it. And I'm sure he did, but we just never sustained it. Lavia went down. Reece James wasn't available. Fofana went down. Bro, we only had Nicholas Jackson as a striker. People should understand this too. Last season, our only number 9 was Nicholas Jackson and Mark Gill. This is what we were working with last year. Jackson and Mark Gill. Bro, how many Prem goals did Mark Gill score? None. Jackson scored 10. You can't win. You can't win with that. And of course, you see how they're both mentioning Garnacho, but failed to mention Lopez and Xavi Simons. Using Garnacho connects with the narrative. Absolutely. Because Garnacho, even Chelsea fans, we understand he's not good. So you saying oh, we're prioritizing him over Simmons. That's never been the case. Garnacho just feels like an easier deal to do. It's 35 million pounds as opposed to 60. It's easier to do. Hence why Chelsea are doing it. But other than that, bro, we're still trying to improve this team. It's unbelievable, dog.
Even top quality players that have done it day in, day out for years. That's where
Aaron,
we're wrong.
Aaron, this comment here from generic users: stockpiling players for future sale profits. This is Chelsea's model now. See RB Leipzig. Do you think at this stage of Chelsea's sort of rebuild and squad build, do you think this is the best use of another 35, 40 million in a player that they're just potentially stockpiling to sell at profit in 2 years' time? Or there's talk they've done that with 2 or 3 players this summer. Should they have put all of that money, say 100 million combined, into a world-class goalie and a world-class centre-back? Is that where it should go? Or do you think that Chelsea fans defending the model were right?
Well, look, the model has had, obviously, its positives. You know, they're able to get their PSR thing all well and good. They're selling well. But there's got to come a point where enough's enough. Now, I totally appreciate, that they are, if you're going to go for a league title, which they probably would have thought that they should be doing, you need all of these other little players in there all about a centre-back and a goalkeeper. I don't mind if you go and get 20 million here, 20 million there, but make sure you've got the core of your window done. They've got young kids in again. I totally agree with LB.
Get the core of your window done. Bro, we have our core. I think that's what people are struggling to understand. We have a core. Even though they're young, that is still our core. Enzo, Caicedo, core. Cole Palmer, core. Pedro Neto, core. Levi, core. Cucurella, core. We have a spine. And these guys are all young, but we still have a spine. Joao Pedro right now is our number 9. We have a structure. Like if you ask any Chelsea fan right now, tell me build your ultimate 11 for the season, week in, week out. 90% of us are going to have the same players, literally on the pitch, and with everyone available, by the way. We're going to have the same players. The only discrepancies you might have will be, does Cole Palmer play out wide or does he play central? Does Estevao play out wide or is he on the bench? We obviously know Joao Pedro is going to start as a 9. Do we play Enzo or Lavia? But it's going to be Enzo. These are the only few conversations you're going to have about this Chelsea team because we know who should be starting week in, week out. Now, Maresca is very clever. So every week he's going to plan for a different team and just do what he needs to do. But literally, that is our core right here. I just said that. We have a core. Literally. James, Cucurella, Caicedo, Neto, Palmer, Tosin, Esteban, Enzo. This is the core. And guess what? None of these guys, Bob Cucurella, is over 27. Wait, how old is Reece James? Probably like 26, 27 as well, yeah? So let me check on that. But it's literally, we have a core. Chelsea don't need to go bring in, what's the name of that old-ass Inter defender? Somebody tell me in the chat. It don't got to be him. It don't got to be a Ruben Diaz or a Kanji. James is 25. There you go. Like, it don't got to be old people coming in for you to be like, yeah, Chelsea is set now. It doesn't have to be a Tarkovsky or Chris Wood. It doesn't have to, no, not Bastoni, the other one. The one who scored the last minute equalizer against Barcelona last season. But Chelsea don't have to, funny thing is, all of these guys would have said Chelsea should have went in and got Onana. Now look at Onana. Crap as hell. It's just, we have a core. You just don't like the fact that they're young and they're good. But it don't got to be like that.
You're looking at Chelsea again, because they're signing these young, unknown, proven players. The Garnachos are coming in for God knows how much money. You're looking at them, you're not taking them serious again. If they'd had, what's his name, Donnarumma walking through the door and a proper centre-back, all of a sudden you're looking at Chelsea and going, hang on a minute. Yeah, they've shored their defence right up.
No, granted, you bring in the Donnarumma and you bring in a good defender. All right, cool. The thing is, we know, we need a goalkeeper. We know, not Dumfries. What's his name? Hold up. I'll pull it up right now. Inter Milan roster. Nah, not Dumfries. Where is he? Acerbi. There we go. It feels like they wanted to go get somebody like an Acerbi or something. Like, it just, bro, it doesn't have to be that. Now we know if we're bringing in Donnarumma, absolutely, we're going to be good. You're bringing a defender like, you're bringing a Gabriel level center back. we're good. It doesn't have to be Gabriel, but you bring in someone like a Gabriel, dominant leader, bro, we're good. You're bringing a Donnarumma and a Gabriel. Yo, Chelsea probably definitely challenge for the league. Even if you bring Gabriel from Arsenal right now, I'm like, yeah, we good. We could definitely win the league. But you're not going to get a lot of Gabriels, because even for Gabriel, he had to get to a point where he just hit that. Like, he had to get to that point where he was that guy. You know, Bastoni, we're never going to be able to get him. They're not selling. You know, Hincapié, Chelsea are not looking at him because they got Gerald Hato. He doesn't fit what we want. So it can't just be throwing names out there. Like Garnacho, at best, is going to be a squad option. Like, as a team, you need a squad option. Paying 35 M's for a squad option right now is calm. Not the best one, not the one we want. But, like, let's also be like, you know what, this guy can potentially become. If we rate our manager and we think our manager improves players, like the way he's improved Enzo, Caicedo, Palmer, then let's see what he could do with a Garnacho. Look at Pedro Neto. Improved. Let's see what he could do with someone like a Garnacho. If we really rate the manager, even though I don't rate Garnacho. I don't want Garnacho. But if you are going to be like, my manager is that guy, give him someone like this to see if it can develop him. That's it. That's the only way we're going to see it. But we still need options. We need options on the bench. We need options. We need squad depth. And 30 M's, 35, 40 M's on a squad option like him, bro, fine. Do what you got to do. Like, they're allowed to get it wrong at times too. That's just that's the business. In business, you're going to take some L's. You can't always win. People need to realize Tosin and Trevor are not entering the prime. Absolutely. You know, Trevor has, again, I've always said, like, Trevor for me, like, he's okay, you know, not the greatest. But if he's performing consistently and he's giving me a solid 7 out of 10, I'm cool with that. If Chalobah can give me 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, him and Tosin, I'm good. Just keep it up. You have Josh Champon coming through. Everybody wanted us to sign Hoyson. Josh could be your next Hoyson, and you just saved yourself 60 M's. He has every attribute that you could want. Strong, tall, quick, good on the ball. You know, he has room to grow and become a better player. So it's just, I think I feel like if we were signing players like a Cherby and all these guys, maybe they wouldn't have this talk. Because then they'll just be like, yeah, you know, well, they've brought in some experience, so they should be challenged right now.
You know, they haven't got
even Lacroix. Lacroix could be a very good addition as well. That's the thing. He could definitely be a good addition.
Last week was telling me that he'd rather have Sanchez in net than Donnarumma.
Oh, nonsense.
That's something not right, man.
Never had something so ridiculous in my
I don't know
life.
what's happened to the Chelsea fans, man. These are the
Thank
most
you.
ruthless fan base in the country, and it worked. They used to win loads. I'm sure they're the most successful country up there.
Yes, yes. That was back in the day.
It's scary how quickly you just lose it, man.
That was back in the day. Like,
100%. Ruthless. Get me the
that
best.
that
I don't
was
care
that was
who or
back
how,
in the
get me
day,
best, we'll
man.
win
You
titles.
can't,
If you ain't good enough, off your pot. Salah, piss off, go away. You're not good.
like, they keep forgetting, yeah. Like, seasons, things evolve, things happen. Like, you can't expect the same energy from Roman to these guys. Roman was a win now type of owner, and it worked. We have our trophies, we have our success, we have our history. Now it's about being sustainable. You know, let's not act like Roman's time we weren't signing players like Drinkwater, Bakayoko, Alvaro Morata, Zappacosta, Papi Djibodi, Christian Atsu, may he so rest in peace. Bro, we signed some bums too, bro, in Roman's era. Like, Roman wasn't always, you know, your Drogbas and your Lampards and your Contes and, you know, your Kovacic's. It wasn't that. Even with Roman, there was a balance, bro. How many people remember Papi Djibodi? How many people remember him? But they signed him for money. Like, it's just Bamford, bro. You just can't keep. You can't keep the same energy. Roman's time, you didn't have none of this PSR, FFP. You could spend money as much as you wanted, bro. You could just be spending and spending. But now, every time you spend, you got to make sure you bring your money in. Every time you spend, you got to make sure you're balancing your books. That's the reality. It's not just a free for all. You can't just do whatever you want. Look at Newcastle. They have one of the richest owners. They can't just do whatever they want. They just cannot. So people need to understand, like, bro, you know what? I like Loic Remy, so he ain't even going to catch too much smoke. But even Loic Remy didn't really do much over here. Won the Prem and fucked off. You know, sign players like Vernon Havertz. Like it just, relax, bro. It can't always be hits after hits after hits after hits. Batshuayi was pretty decent as well, but again, never got the game time. Ziyech, Pulisic, these guys won the champs, so I ain't even gonna talk squash on the name. But Ziyech was an awful signing. His time at Chelsea was bad. But you don't hear them talking about it. Yeah, we won with Roman, but we also had times when the squad building was appalling. It was atrocious. It sucked. It was shit. So, like, I understand you want Chelsea to, go sign, your Van Dijks, but bro, there's not a lot of Van Dijks out here. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of Van Dijks. Like for me, if you want to go the experience route, go get me a Marquinhos from PSG. But he ain't gonna go for cheap. Someone like that. Can you try for a Pacho from PSG because they just brought in Zibania? Go get me a Marquinhos or something. But we might not be able to get him. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. Under Roman, we didn't challenge for the league for time because the squad building was just poor. We had to rely on your Loftus rubbish, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, what you call it, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Bro, we had some dead players, man, come through the door. Like Morata was one of the worst under Roman, but also under Roman, we bought some players, some serious ballers, and we won. We have the history now. Now we're trying to be, sustainable, not just 1 year win.
Mediocre.
And now
I do totally get that. You do also need to plan for the future. Like I said, I'm not totally writing off their model, but you've got to be putting in the ready-made, proven players, the world-class players. You've got to have that mix. Otherwise, what you're just a selling team. What are they now? There's got to come a point where they've spent all of this money over a set period of time.
Bringing in ready, proven players. Okay. Look at your Caicedo. He's ready, proven, young. Enzo, ready, proven, young. Joao Pedro, ready, proven, young. Esteval, ready, proven, young. Like, the list goes on and on. The list literally goes on. So what are you talking about? Pedro Neto, winner with Portugal, ready, winner, young. Cucurella, winner. Like, we have winners in this team. So, I get it. I don't understand. I get it, but then I don't get it. Because sometimes
now it's time to win.
I think they're going to end up being the next Arsenal, and we're going to be in phase 2 and phase 3 and phase 4. Because if your plan is just to continue to buy young players and develop them, then ultimately you're basically waiting for all the players to hit their prime, or at least the core.
How could you be the next Arsenal when you just won 2 trophies? I swear Arsenal haven't won a trophy in like 6 years. How can you be the next Arsenal and you're a world champion? And I don't want to hear nobody talking about that trophy is not it. We just saw United lose to Grimsby Town. So you can't chat to the Club World Cup. Your team bought Reindeers, Cherokee, Ain't Nori for this competition. Marmouche was there. Holland was there. So I don't want to hear none of that. Gavardio was there. I don't want to hear none of that. You had players at this competition and you lost to Al Hilal. So I don't want to hear that. Like, what are we talking about? How are you going to be the next Arsenal and you just won? You just won 2 trophies. How are you going to be the next Arsenal? Bro, within 3 years of Blue Cobain here, we've won trophies in 3 years. Arsenal haven't won a trophy in 6. How are you going to be the Arsenal? It just makes no sense.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players to the prime, which means you're going to be waiting year after year, and it's going to become, next year is going to be the year, phase 5, you know what I mean?
You're a fancy Southampton. Get all these nice good players and sell them. That's all you are.
Yeah.
Fancy Southampton. Ew. Brother, ew. Southampton. You could have just went with Brighton, bro. Like, you could have just picked up on the beef we've been having with Brighton. Our model has been compared to nobody to Brighton. So if you really wanted to shit on Chelsea, you could just say Brighton, not Southampton, bro. Like, what? Like, you just wanted to be daft at this point. Like, really daft. Spicy Southampton. When did they win the Champions League? Remind me again. When did they slap Arsenal in the Europa League final? 4-1. Remind me again. When did they beat PSG in a Club World Cup final? Remind me again. Oh, yeah. Of course you can't. They're just talking shit, man. These guys just be on some Foolery.
Blue Southampton. Do you know what I mean? There's got to come a period. There's got to come a period. And I see a couple of people saying, "Oh, they don't know what they're talking about Chelsea." That's fine. Keep doing your model. You won't win anything because you need proven players. You're not going to close the gap to Liverpool's and Manchester City's if you keep buying 16-year-old Brazilian kids and Garnachos. I can promise you.
Bro, last season we were behind Man City by how many points? Like 5 or 4? What are you talking about? We literally closed the gap on Man City last season. So what are you on? Yo, Man City, they got to understand, right? Even under Mauricio Pochettino, we had players like Conor Gallagher, Nicholas Jackson, and Raheem Sterling missing chances time and time again. Against Liverpool in that, was it the Carabao Cup final? We could have won that game so easily if Gallagher could have scored against Man City. If only Nicholas Jackson could use his left foot, we would have been away. We've had Jackson for 2 years, and people have gotten comfortable with the fact that we've only had Jackson for 2 years. Now we've had, see, in this team, we've improved the team and we've brought in people who like to shoot. We've brought in shooters who like to just shoot. You can look at the whole attack. Delap, Joao Pedro Neto is popping shots. Esteval, Cole Palmer's popping shots. Gittins, even Garnacho, who's going to come in, is someone who takes shots. He has a very poor conversion rate, but he shoots. If you don't shoot, you don't score. We've gone from Sterling, we've gone from Sancho, Noni Madueke, Nicholas Jackson, people who don't shoot, to people who are not afraid to lace it. Bro, we're going to score goals. Like, it's going to happen. So just calm on, bro. Relax.
If you want to close that bridge from 6th to 5th to 1st, Garnacho and all the crap ain't it.
The fans think that this is the right process. So they're happy to go along with it. But you're telling me when Liverpool are signing Wirtz, try to get Isak.
Yeah, Liverpool signed Wirtz. How is Wirtz looking right now in the Prem? Like, it's just too much too soon. Wirtz looks like he don't even know what he got going on in the Prem. Just because you're signing fancy names like Wirtz don't mean nothing. Wirtz is not a better player than Cole Palmer. He's just not. So what are we doing? Isak, yes, guaranteed. Baxman. Guaranteed Baxman, but they haven't signed Isak yet. So what are you on? Ekitike, he's coming, he's hit the ground running. Okay, cool. So has Joao Pedro. So has Delap. What's your point? Like, yeah, Liverpool have a better team. Liverpool are favorites for the league. So we're not going to say we have, like if you look at Liverpool's team, you can look at certain areas of the pitch and you go, okay, we can compete, especially when it comes to midfielders. You know what I mean? When it comes to midfields, I think our midfield is better than Liverpool's midfield. When it comes to defense, I think the center back partnership is better than ours, but our fullbacks are better than theirs. If you want to build a Liverpool Chelsea combined 11 right now, you're gonna have obviously more Liverpool players than Chelsea players potentially, because Alisson will be in goal. You're gonna have Van Dijk and Konate, but even right now, Konate is looking shit. But just on the basis of consistency, Van Dijk, Konate, you're gonna have what? Reece James, and you're gonna have Cucurella. I'm sorry, Kerkis does not talk to Cucurella. Cucurella is one of the best fullbacks in the league. Kerkis doesn't talk to him. None of your fullbacks talks to Reece James. None of them. So now that's 2 and 2. They got 3 center defenders and goalkeeper. You go to midfield. Caicedo got to be in that midfield. So you got to put Caicedo, and you got to get Caicedo and Palmer in those 2 midfield positions. So you put Caicedo, you either bring in McAllister or you bring in Gravenberg. But Cole Palmer is part of that midfield trio, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, Palmer has to be in that midfield. You don't want Enzo, you don't want Lavia, cool. But then if you're looking at Enzo, even Enzo and McAllister last season, Enzo outperformed McAllister on the GNA. But McAllister's game is not really about goals and assists. It's about being that metronome in midfield, controlling the tempo and just giving them that balance. So you want to do, McAllister and Enzo, even with that, there's a conversation over there. I'm not just going to let McAllister just take it. Because if you go on the eye test, last season, Enzo performed, and he also had the output GNA to match it. So even with that, it's a toss-up. But even if we're taking Enzo out, and I'm giving you McAllister, Palmer and Caicedo are in that midfield. Your wingers, okay, cool. You have Salah on one side. Your strikers, you can have Ekitike, and then you can have Joao Pedro on the other side. So how many players we got? We got like 6 in there. Palmer, Caicedo, Joao Pedro, Reece James, Palmer, Caicedo, Joao Pedro, Reece James, Cucurella. That's 5. That's not really beating us out, is it? That's 6-5, bro. Like it's really competitive. You understand what I mean? I'd rather have Joao Pedro over Cody Gakpo on that left any day, anytime. So what are we doing? I'm not saying we have a better team than Liverpool. Liverpool are just outright favorites because they just have a more balanced team. They have winners. They have more experience. But don't make it seem like our team is shit. Like we're not absolutely like dreadful, bro. We have
signing Garnacho.
yeah,
I'm going to sit here and think you're going to be in a title race.
Yo, forget about
Garnacho, I think
man.
Chelsea's current squad is a decent squad. And like I said, I think we'll get top 5 comfortably. But I look at the signings, and I'm not seeing yet signings that are going to push them to a title. I'm signing Estevaos, Delaps, Pedros, good players. Probably going to be really good players in a few years. But they're going to come in and win you a title. No. On top of that, you try to sign Garnacho. Yeah, why you not sign Eze? Yeah, why not go try sign Birds? Why not go try sign Isak? It's constant. It's just they don't want to spend the big money, so they're just spending all the like 30, 40 millions and going and getting all the young players. And they're going to hope and pray that in a few years' time, that all the players will all develop at the same rate, and in like 2027, 2028, they'll be ready to go for the league. But I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
And even if it does, you basically accept that you're doing nothing for the next 2 years anyway.
Yeah. If you're telling me, sorry, 1 second.
Go on.
Yeah, that's it. If any Chelsea fan in this chat can sit with a straight face and tell me not signing ready-made established players and on top of that, keeping crap Sanchez in goal, signing Garnacho, if you're telling me that that's the same standards as the Abramovich years, which by the way, I'd never liked Chelsea, but I at least had appreciation and respect for what they've done. They were ruthless winners. This ain't winning regime. You know, they've won a couple of cups here and there, but you're not telling me that Garnacho is going to be the final piece of a Premier League, Champions League winning puzzle. Come off it, man. If anyone can sit there and talk to me like that with a straight face in the chat, you're a helmet, man. Like, come on. It's Sanchez. The keeper's shit. He's crap. Come on, we're doing it. Garnacho. Oh, come off it. Let's proper talk football here. Do you know what I mean? That's not.
The centre back options are poor. The centre back options are poor, man. Do you know what I mean? They are like Tosin and Trevor. You know what I'm saying? That's they need to go out there and buy a big money centre back, man. I'm surprised they're not all in for Gueye.
Yeah.
Then he used to be in their academy as well. Like 30 million apparently they say you can potentially get him for. Like why don't they go get Mark Gueye or something? Yeah, I don't really understand what these Chelsea fans are seeing that I'm not seeing. You've got Sanchez in there, you've got Trevor Chalobah and Tosin. You've got to go buy Garnacho, and you haven't played over the age of 25. And I'm expected to sit here and think they're in a title race. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
So let me ask you another question. Playing devil's advocate here. They've just become world champions by beating Paris Saint-Germain in the final. They won 2 trophies last season because I think the World Club Cups classified as last season. They got into the top 4 when most people predicted that they wouldn't. They've started the season well. You know, the draw against Palace, fair enough, but battered West Ham away from home at the weekend. Does that not show progression? When they're fans say, but we're world champions, we just won the world championship. Why are we being written off and winning major trophies? Does that not prove they can win the Champions League this year as an example?
No
Yeah,
chance.
look, yeah, the thing is, look, I actually said it's hard making that step up from a 4th or a 3rd to a 1st, from a Conference League to a Champions League. That's a massive step up, a massive step up in mentality, in quality, in everything. If you're telling me Garnacho is bridging that gap, then mate, play netball or follow something like that because football ain't for you, man. Garnacho is poor. The goalkeeper, poor. You need a centre back. We all know it. I don't watch Chelsea all the time, but everyone in their nan knows you need a keeper, you need a centre back, and you need more established players. Especially maybe one of Rodrigo in that forward line. Then I'm looking at Chelsea and going, wow, okay, they've definitely bridged the gap. They've got themselves, they've replaced a shitty goalkeeper, they've got themselves a leader at centre back, and now they've got themselves a good winger. Okay, time to take Chelsea a bit more seriously. I'm sorry, Garnacho. Sorry,
Man, enough of this rubbish, man. Enough of this
rubbish. Saying, no, we are going to win the league.
I
don't see any Chelsea fans saying we are going to win the league. You're just saying, oh, we're going to be involved in the race.
At this point, we're done. Enough of that nonsense. There's no balance take. There's no, objectivity in these conversations. It's either Chelsea are trash or Chelsea are gonna be trash. There's no, Chelsea are gonna be fine. Chelsea, it's just, bro. We just have to do what we need to do this season. Challenge for the Prem. Just even if we don't win it, close the gap, because this might not be the season we win it, but you still have to pick up trophies along the way, and that's what's important. You win FA, Carabao, the 2 times we won the Champions League, we weren't the favorites. We were not the favorites, and we still went out and we did our thing. And the confidence we have in this team, we can play anybody right now. This Chelsea team is ready. They're confident to play anybody. And so are we. Us fans, we're chilling. But, people, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been damn near 2 hours. I appreciate everyone who slided in into the chat, everyone who stopped by, interacted with the comment. CFC Gamer, appreciate you as always. Gaurav, appreciate you. Like the video, sub to the channel. We'll be back with more. Now we just wait and see what this Xavi Simons situation, let's see what's happening. Because if somehow Tottenham get this guy over us, then we're not serious. Because there's no way you've told this guy to wait for time just to decide not to, move on. And then it's also feeling like Leipzig are trying to entice other people to come in to get more money, even though there has been potential conversations on, hey, this is how much we're going to give you. The arrangement is what it is. We're just waiting for Nkunku to leave. But Leipzig is starting to get real greedy. Allegedly. It looks like they're trying to move the goalposts a little bit. Xavi Simons, comma, we're coming for you, bro. We've been doing all of this to make sure you come through. Personal terms are agreed. And if you choose Tottenham over us, then, bro, we know where you stand. You don't want to be with the world champions. You want to be with the bums. You do what you got to do. But, comma, we're coming for you, bro. We're coming for you. We're going to sign you, bro. Tranquilo. You in London? No problem. Let Tottenham pay for you. You know what Igal said? Tottenham are going to pay for his hotel and whatever, and he's just going to go to Arsenal. And if Tottenham want to pay a second fee, like they did with Eze, with Simmons, if you want to do the whole Willian thing again, we could do it again. We could run it back. We could run it back, bro. We could definitely run it back. They got kudos over us. Now they feeling all big boyish and stuff. Don't make me go get the Forest owner on you, yo. Don't make me call your big bosses because he owns you. Don't make us go call him because he will come in and he will settle it right there and then. But, yo, calm. I think we're going to get Xavi Simons. Garnacho, obviously, is just inevitable. But if we could get Simmons, Garnacho, and Fermin Lopez, yo, we should be challenging. Even with the defense and Sanchez in goal, we should be challenging because then you have so much offensive options to just, win certain games. Attack wins you games. It's defense that wins you titles. If we can beef up the defense, even better. But, yo, people, I appreciate you all for interacting with the content. We'll be back again for another one. Love. Peace, man.